Now, this family has been making losses throughout their property upgrading journey, and personally, I just felt that they do not deserve to go through this. And that is the reason why I'm sharing their story and the advice that I could have given to them. So that if you're watching, you can avoid making a wrong decision if you're ever in the same situation. Now, basically, this family made 4 different property decisions throughout their journey, and 2 of those decisions really impacted them negatively. Now, first, of course, they bought their HDB BTO flat in Punggol, and definitely is one of the best decisions because obviously it made profits. But things started to go downhill in 2018 when they made their second property decision. Now, they bought a new launch 3-bedroom at $1,321 per square foot in 2018 from the developer. But the problem is that they bought this property at a much higher price because the new launch started sales in 2015 and similar size units was actually transacted at only an average of $1,115 per square foot. So in just 3 short years, the developer raised the price by $206 per square foot, which is about 18% increase. So obviously this family bought at a much higher price. So if your entry price is high, then your exit will be extremely tough. So as a buyer, how can you avoid a situation that you are buying a new launch property at a much higher price than others? Now, I always go by this simple rule. Whenever I buy a property, I will ask myself this question: why am I paying for this price point? And naturally, I will need to find reasons to support my purchase. Now, take for example, if I'm paying a higher price for a particular unit, is it because of the level, the facing, the size, the layout, or other reasons? Now, to further elaborate my point, I did a deeper research on this family's purchase. Now, the development that this family purchased have 2 different facing. Now, one facing the pool and the other is facing the river, which obviously have a better view. Now, in most cases, units with better views are expected to be sold at a higher price. So for this development, units with river facing should be priced higher. But this is not the case for this family. Now, in 2015, the units facing the river is sold at an average of $1,150 per square foot. Then in 2018, this family was presented a choice to buy a pool-facing unit at $1,321 per square foot. So if you are the buyer and you know the fact that a much better facing units was sold cheaper 3 years ago, would you proceed with the purchase? Now, of course, I believe you will get doubtful and wonder if you should proceed. And this is an example on how buyers can avoid similar situation by just asking themselves this simple question: why am I paying for this price point? So fast forward to 2023, this family decided to make another decision, which is to sell their property. And they sold for only 1.19 million, and if you remember, they actually bought it at 1.18 million. And obviously, they made losses because of the costs involved, like the bank interest, the stamp duties, the agent fees, and other costs. But the question is, why they decide to sell as they can just continue to hold on to the property? Now, basically, there are a few key reasons. Now, of course, this family is feeling the pressure of the monthly loan installments because of the high interest rates. His monthly loan installment grew from $2,800 to $4,800, which is a drastic increase of $2,000 per month. And the next reason was because his wife stopped working and they had a new 3rd child. So you can imagine the tremendous financial stress this family is going through. And naturally, when someone is desperate, they will be in a vulnerable state, and it is easy to make a wrong decision, especially a wrong call, to accept any offers that comes in. So as a seller, how can we avoid this situation? Now, for many years handling different situations, it is critical to identify clients' state of mind. And if they are in a vulnerable state, the more we need to stand by them to provide the right advice. And the most effective way is to share a concrete plan on how to handle the situation. Now, let's look back at this family's case again. Now, there are two areas that we could have done better. Now, first is to understand the seller's financial ability to hold on to the property during the period of marketing. Now, we know the fact that the family is desperate due to the high mortgage loan installments. And if today the monthly loan installment is capped at $2,800, I believe this family might not feel stressful at all. But the stress comes when there's an increase of $2,000 due to the surge in bank interest rates. And if we can explain and let this family know that as long as he has the ability to fork out that extra $2,000 per month, it will allow more time for marketing and negotiation. Now, in the worst case scenario, he just needs to have extra $6,000 for the 3 months of marketing the property. $6,000 versus accepting a bad offer, in which for this instance is $6,000 versus accepting a $1.19 million offer. That is why the second step is important, which is evaluating the offer price. Now, we need to justify if the offer of $1.19 million is the right offer. I did a check on the past transacted prices, and similar sizes on the higher level facing the pool was sold for $1.288 million. That is $98,000 more than the $1.19 million offer. Now, there's another unit sold in the same month facing the river, was transacted at $1.285 million. Now, that transaction is about $95,000 more than the $1.19 million offer. Now, from this information, we can understand that the fair value of the property could be easily achieved above the $1.2 million range. Personally, I believe that more effort should be used to negotiate with the buyer, and getting another $20,000 to $40,000 more should not be that difficult. So what would I have done if I received this offer of $1.19 million? What is important is to establish my stand with this family that they could achieve a higher selling price by sharing, of course, the past transacted prices, rather than fearing that the buyer will pull out from the offer. Now, of course, the worst case scenario is that we might lose this buyer, which is why handling the negotiation process has to be careful to achieve a win-win situation for both sides. Because even if the buyer who offered the $1.19 million offer is not keen to increase their offer price, there should be other buyers who will be interested due to the attractive selling price. Now, what we want to achieve is to get the unit sold above the $1.2 million range, which, if possible, closer to the past transacted prices. Now, a higher selling price will mean so much for this family, which is why every dollar counts. Now, from this story, you can fully understand that every property decision matters, which can turn around the entire situation. A wrong move will create more problems in the future, while a wise decision definitely can reap potential rewards. Which is why careful planning throughout the property journey will significantly impact our outcome. As for this family, I'm glad that they are now in a much better financial position because they have since downgraded to a resale 5-room flat. I would also like to take this opportunity to thank them for allowing me to share their story so that we can all benefit from it. Now, want to see more of my real life property stories that can teach and inspire you? Remember to follow me for more.